Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Roofing Contractors Best of Success podcast show. I'm RC Editor-in-Chief Art Eisner, and I'm really glad to be joined today by Van Taylor, VP of Commercial Marketing with GAF. Van, thank you for being here. We're live here at the 2026 International Roofing Expo in Las Vegas. Tell me, how was your first day, and what are some of the conversations you've been having out there on the show floor?
Sure. Well, it's great to be with you, Art. It's great to be with you guys out there today. It's been a tremendous start to IRE 2026. We're really excited. We've had some great traffic through our booth. A lot of excitement about our new product innovation as well as the systems we're offering in that booth. You know, this year we took an approach to say, let's drive the experience, the story from the onset of the manufacturing process all the way through to the finished assemblies, details of exactly how those roofing systems are put together. You know, we call this a model roof assembly. And this is actually a data center that we've put together through the step-by-step layers, and show you just a little bit of a brief walkthrough of how this works, why it's so valuable for contractors. You know, we have a roof deck right here. Let's just say you have a vapor retarder right on top of that. You know, we put ISO on. You could have fastening screws right here. Put your fasteners on now. If I have a fleece membrane, I need some type of low-rise foam. If I have a smooth membrane, I can use quick spray right here. So I could, you know, if I have modified bitumen, I've got a different adhesive. So you put the whole thing together for the customer. Actually walking through the full assembly, we found to be a really valuable tool, and more customers come by interested in exactly how can I get one of those. We are selling them now. There's a digital tool called Build Your Roof. You build your roofing assembly the same exact way on your computer screen. If you make a mistake, if you put down the wrong adhesive, it does stop and prompt you and remind you of the correct way to write the assembly. When you're done, you get all the data sheets, any kind of specific details you have to the roofing system that you've selected, all in one easy to use document. We found more and more customers adapting to that tool. They start their Build Your Roof assembly, they get it to a point where they can transition to our design services team, work with their sales rep. It's been very valuable for us in both explaining roofing as well as driving sales. You know, I'd say we start by expanding on our repair and maintenance platform we launched last year at this show. We found repair and maintenance to be an interesting category. You know, when there was a supply chain crisis, as you remember a couple of years ago, a lot of contractors said, you know, I don't have time for repair and maintenance. I'm chasing the next big job. You know, there's a lot of warehouses, a lot of re-roofing of building of warehouses, re-roofing demand. But now we're finding an environment where the best source of leads, according to our customer, is that maintenance and repair job. Even if it wasn't that roof, just the fact that they're out there on the job, engaging with the owner who may have that roof to be repaired soon or another roof, you know, it just creates that dialogue of, if you service that well, then we see a lot of, you know, lead opportunities to follow for our contractor base. Start off with our aerosol series. This was launched last year. This is quick spray, works just like the canister based. But, you know, I can go up, do a spray, flashing, and, you know, put the detailing membrane right on top of it. That product was launched last year at the show. We've got it out into distribution. A lot of repeat business. This year, we're also launching a red TPO primer. So if I'm going to put a coating on top of my flashing, I spray that on top of the TPO, put the coating down above that. We also have a PVC cleaner in addition to our regular TPO cleaner and TPO primer. So we're continuing to round out the lineup for 2026. Additionally, we have this great product, Ultra Clear. This is an all-purpose sealant. Every roofer should have this in the back of their truck. You know, it has an aesthetic appeal because it dries clear. Skylight leaks, various repairs on any kind of a single ply or modified or coatings roof. You know, it is a great product, our Ultra Clear from GAF. We really did a deep dive on our PVC portfolio this year, Art. You know, we learned we have a great product we make right up the road in Cedar City here. It's about 3 hours north of here from Las Vegas. We still get questions, well, where's your PVC come from? You know, it's been 9 years since we've been making it out of that facility. And recently we did some third-party testing of both our key membrane as well as our regular PVC product across, you know, various weathering. We passed ASTM G155. There's a certain ASTM test on PVC. For weathering, we were 7 times the average of the actual test requirements. I think we were under radiation for like 35,000 hours. The product did not crack. Our key membrane we've tested with lard, jet fuel, compressive oil, and, you know, we pull it out. It performed very well. You can find out the details in our booth here at the show or on GAF.com. In addition, on PVC, we have our first warranty we call a mission critical warranty. It's designed for data centers and goes up to 30 years with varying forms of inspection over the course of that time period. But it covers wind, it covers fire, and it covers puncture resistance, all in one warranty. You don't need separate addendums for each of them. We've just launched it here at the show from our top Platinum Elite contractors. We encourage anybody out there listening to ask our team and learn more. And finally, one thing about these critical infrastructures, and it goes beyond just data centers, we got to make sure that the contractor base feels comfortable, feels confident when they're on that roof. We've launched a new training from our care team. Our care team has always done training. We've done entry-level basics, learning how to weld basics. This is actually a advanced class on critical infrastructures. We'll go down with the specification, maybe even start with this model roof kit of here's the assembly we're going to build today, but actually go through layer by layer all the different ways that you can get into complex welding, penetrations that are complicated and tricky, to really hands-on experience. We're launching our first one this spring. There will be at least 3 this year, critical infrastructure training from our care team at GAF. Download our new catalog. It's on the GAF website. The new 2026 commercial catalog is a lot of the details I'm talking about today, in addition to all of our new products. In fact, I'll give you one, Art, before we leave the show here today. We got some in our booth. And then if you want to just ask some general questions to get started, you want to learn how to work with GAF, our territory manager locator on our website is the best place to go. Enter your zip code and the name of your local territory manager will pop up. And whether you need to speak to them, you want to speak to our building science team about specifications, you want to speak to our design services team about building out an actual guide specification, you want to speak to our tapered design team, start with your territory manager, and we'll get you the right resource at GAF.
All right. Thank you very much, Van. That's a lot of great information. And thank you all for joining us. We appreciate it. Please check back to roofingcontractor.com and sign up for our free e-newsletters and our great e-magazine. Make sure you're staying on top of all the news and information you need to be successful going forward. Take care, stay safe, and we'll see you next time.